Welcome, friends, to Podcast with Jen. My name's Jen Stebbing, and I'll be your host, diving headfirst into the world of podcasting, content creation, and the wild ride of freelancing. Together, we'll unpack the magic behind creating awesome content, nailing digital marketing, and living that freelance life. You can think of this podcast as our cozy hangout spot. Whether you're a pro creator or just dipping in your toes, I've got you covered. Every week, we'll dish out real talk chats, expert insights, and super practical tips to level up your game and be a boss in the digital space. From tips to make your podcast pop, to content creation hacks that will make your creative heart sing, we're diving deep into it all. Oh, and believe me, I'll be spilling the tea on my own wins and fails along the way. So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's explore the exciting world of podcasting and content creation every Monday on Podcast with Jen. Hi friends, welcome back to Podcast with Jen. My name's Jen Stebbing and I'm your host. I'm so happy to have you back with us again this week. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Monday. I don't know about you, but Monday mornings can be a little bit rough for me, so hopefully we're all chugging our coffee and raring to go today. I'm very excited for our topic today. I'm going to be sharing 5 things you should know before you start a podcast. Now, back in 2012, when I began podcasting, I didn't have a lot of information. We had listened to some podcasts and kind of had a general idea. We had a friend who knew a little bit about audio editing that helped us in the beginning with recording and setting up and some tips and tricks. And then the rest was just kind of up to us. And thanks to Google and the tons of creators on YouTube that have taught me everything I know, we were able to not only get going, but spend 3 years of our life creating content and interviewing people and having amazing experiences as a group of buddies talking about what they loved. Okay, so let's not waste any more time. Let's dive right in. Number 1 thing you need to know before you start a podcast: why. You need to define your why. Why are you doing this? What is your inspiration and motivation? You're probably already aware that your why often hides in the things that make you go, whoa. Those are the things that you're going to want to talk about. Those are going to be the things that you have the most knowledge and passion for. You also want to know who you're talking to, and you want to make sure that your why aligns with what they are seeking. Are you helping them solve a problem? Are you giving them information? Are you providing them with something valuable in the spectrum in which they exist? And also, you want to keep it real. You want to make sure that your why is authentic to you and your service or your area of expertise, also maybe your personality, or, you want to make sure that your why is in alignment with you. Being authentic is going to be your secret sauce. It's very important. Listeners will know when you're not speaking from your heart and when you are not in your truth. You will not come across as authentic. And now, number 2, this one's a really important one. Plan your content. Consistency in content is key. Planning ahead will help you keep on track. Now, some things you can do to help you find your voice in your planning. I love a good list or a good brain dump. I know my notebook is full of pages of just like random ideas, things that I would love to talk about, things that I would like to learn more, questions I have that I know maybe other people would be asking as well, so that I can include that in the things that I'm creating. Plan ahead for holidays and events. This one's really important because you can create content, schedule it way out in advance, and know that you're covered for that situation, whether it's maybe leading up to a holiday or leading up to a trade show or an event or a situation. If you can plan it ahead and get it out there and do it, do it. And that also leads into another tip, which is to batch record your podcasts and content when possible. I like to create an outline for a show and kind of write out my points and little notes. And then, as I'm doing right now with this podcast, record a couple in a day, get them edited and ready to go so that I know I don't have to worry about it. I can already start working on the next phase of my content. Now, this one's really important. I want you to keep a realistic schedule. We all have other things going on. I'm a parent. I have kid stuff going on. I have family things that I need to take care of, work and other responsibilities. I have to make sure that I'm balancing my time between my podcast and content creation and real life. I don't want either of them to suffer. They both need a lot of attention. So don't think you have to put out a daily podcast. If that's not feasible for you, do an episode a week or an episode every 2 weeks or an episode every month. If that's really what works for you right now, just be consistent so your audience will know when to find you. And then my last tip is try to implement a content calendar. Content calendars are intimidating for me because they are a lot of setup, but once you get the flow and the process down pat, honestly, it's smooth sailing. Do some research on content calendars, figure out a process that will work good for you and keep you on track. And now my third tip, don't let the idea of gear overwhelm you. You do not need to be spending hundreds of dollars on a Rodecaster Pro or a super expensive microphone when you're just starting out. Those things are great if they're in your budget, like have at it. But you can create good content, valuable content without a huge cost to enter. I have a couple examples of some low cost gear. These prices are in Canadian. My favorite for affordable microphone is the Samsung Q2U. It's a dynamic microphone. It's about $100. Works great. Has an XLR option, which is awesome if you use that and you don't want to use USB. Also, there's the Rode NT USB Mini, which is about $150 Canadian. And that's a condenser mic, so it's a little bit different. We'll grab more of the room tone. Good if you're doing a one-on-one interview with just one microphone. Great option. Looks like it's got some cool options with software too that will help you with like noise gate and stuff like that. So if that's what you're looking for, great option. Now, as podcasts and interviews move towards more video, we do want to make sure we have an all right option for video. Your laptop camera is not going to cut it. If you're going to be doing video podcasts regularly, I would suggest checking out a Logitech 920S. It's about $100 Canadian as well. Has good ratings for streaming and all that. So that might be a great option if you're going to be on camera. Now, as far as editing software goes, two great free options. Audacity you can use on PC or Mac, and GarageBand obviously built into the Mac. Great for editing, basic stuff. All you need to do is right there. You don't have to expand into Audition or any of the other big softwares. You can just start there. And that's okay. Your sound quality is going to be great, especially if you upgraded your microphone or maybe did a little sound dampening with some pillows behind you just to keep it quiet. You can have great audio at a low price. I think it's really important that we don't let gear be an obstacle in the way of you creating content and making a podcast because it's not necessary. Okay, tip number 4, we're going to be engaging and connecting with our audience. This one's really important. You can use social media, Facebook groups, or Patreon to foster a close relationship with the people who are supporting you. Embrace their feedback. Read their comments and reviews and questions on your show and make them a part of what you are creating. And make sure to collaborate and guest on other people's shows. Work with other people in your field or in your industry adjacent. Maybe there's a little bit of overlap between their audience and yours. Reach out to those people and connect with them and find out how you can support each other. You really can create a little group of besties that are all kind of into the same thing, and it can be a real good vibe. Okay, we're at the last tip. Number 5, relax and just be yourself. Embrace your unique voice, your quirks, and your style. That is what your audience is listening for. That is why they're here. They want to get to know you and hear from you, not a robot, not from some scripted AI situation. They want to hear you. They want to hear your true, authentic voice. That is your special power in all of this. It's you. and your flaws and imperfections. And sometimes when your podcast goes a little bit sideways or off the rails, some of those are the best moments. And some of those times are going to be what stick out. There's no such thing as perfect. Don't aim for that. Don't aim for anything sterile. Just be you. And remember, it won't be awkward forever. You want to get over the awkward part as fast as you can, but it's going to be there and you have to kind of embrace that. I feel like that's great advice. Embrace the cringe. It's okay to be awkward. It's okay to be imperfect. That's what's going to make you endearing. So now that we have reviewed these 5 tips, I hope you feel a little bit more prepared, maybe a little bit more confident to get set off on your own podcast journey. I'd love to hear what you think. Hit me up. Let me know if there's anything you think that I missed. Is there anything you think that a creator should know before they start a podcast? What are your tips? Let's connect on Instagram or Threads. Podcast with Jen is my username there. Thank you again for joining us. I hope you'll be able to hang out next week. I want to talk about 2024 podcast and content trends. What's coming for us in this year? What exciting new things will we be playing with as podcasters and content creators? The world is our oyster, and I'm so ready for what this year has in store. Thank you again for listening. I hope you guys have a great week, and we will chat again next week on Podcasts with Jen. Bye!